economy, and in spite of all that, people still want to play games, and we've just really stayed focused on trying to provide a great experience to the players. Development is going along great on Diablo 3 and StarCraft 2. Got some great announcements to talk about with our vision for the future of Battle.net, and trying to finish up StarCraft and get it out.
That's right. Well, I should ask you about that because we've been on Twitter talking to a lot of the fans about what questions we should ask you. And, of course, the most common question everyone wants to know, StarCraft 2, the beta, you didn't say anything about it in the opening ceremonies. Is there any update about when players might actually get a chance to enter the beta for StarCraft 2?
We don't have a date yet, but that is a focus. We're working on getting the beta ready, and, we don't want to put it out too early.
So will the beta at least be this year? Are you confident enough to say that the beta would start this year?
I'm confident the beta will start this year.
All right, well, that's breaking a little news. That's good, Mike, and it'll be a little while afterwards until the game comes out, but we're really excited, obviously, to hear more about StarCraft 2. Another thing that you mentioned in the opening ceremonies was the World of Warcraft movie. Sam Raimi, we didn't realize this. He was actually here at BlizzCon. He must have been in a hood or something like that.
We did, yeah. We had a nice conversation with him backstage at the last show. And we're thrilled to find out that he was a Warcraft player himself and a big fan of the universe.
That's awesome. Now, when can we expect more updates about that movie? I mean, he's working on Spider-Man 4, I know. It's the next film he's going to direct, so it would probably be sequenced after that film. So we still have a ways to wait until the film comes out, right?
Yeah, I don't have a timeline for you.
Right.
I do know we're real interested to, go and attach additional strong talent to the movie, and real committed to making sure that the movie lives up to, expectations we have of it, and also that our players have.
There's a lot going on with Blizzard right now. We have Diablo 3 is looking like it's got to be fairly close, although we don't have a date for that, obviously. We have StarCraft 2, which is going to be sometime next year. We know the expansion is going to be coming up in the next year or 2 years. So you're going to have every franchise producing a new title over the next 2 years, plus the movie. Are you prepared for all of this, and what is that going to mean?
Well, we've had multiple teams really going full bore for the last few years now,
right.
And have really focused on ramping up those teams and building some really, really strong, concentrated talent. So I think Blizzard is really more prepared than ever to be supporting that amount of content.
Right.
And with the amount of time it takes us to put out games, I think we really need to be doing multiple things at a time. So better get good at it.
That's a very good point.
Now, let me ask you about next year. Recently on the Activision earnings call, you said that there would probably be 2 big Blizzard releases next year. You said people shouldn't draw conclusions about what those games would be. Obviously,
right.
One is StarCraft. Now you've announced World of Warcraft, Cataclysm. You didn't say anything about the release date yet. Is that sequenced to come out in 2010?
Good point. We didn't say anything about a release date.
Exactly.
But we have said that we were targeting 2 major releases, and Cataclysm is what we have in mind.
Excellent. All right. Well, that's exciting. So obviously the fans will want to hear a lot more about that, what's happening with Cataclysm. But we had a question from Twitter about a fan who's asking about some of your old games. DBLDN asks, Mike, is there any plans to bring Rock and Roll Racing or Lost Vikings to Xbox Live Arcade, PSN, or Steam?
Currently, there aren't any plans to do that, but having worked on those titles, and they certainly have a lot of sentimental value looking back on the development of those games. Really appreciate the question, and we love to hear people asking about them.
All right, there's too many things to do at Blizzard, right?
Yeah, we have to focus.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We had another question on Twitter, which may go into something you haven't talked about yet, but I know you're working on another MMO currently, and then everything that you've done with World of Warcraft. Where do you think the future of MMOs are going? Because you're defining that genre in many ways.
Well, we think that the whole MMO genre is really still near the beginning. There's still a lot more that I think we can do in terms of creating a very social game experience, and I think really it comes down to player interaction and deepening player interaction and player connection to each other as they're playing the games.
Yeah.
And obviously we've learned a lot running World of Warcraft, and we want to apply a lot of those lessons to our future efforts.
That's good.
I had a personal question just from you. Like, what goes into planning a big announcement like this? Like, I know there has to be a team of people that work with you to make this happen. Tell me about that.
Well, I guess that's something we've also had a lot of experience to. You know, we learned a lot the last 3 BlizzCons,
right.
And you know, we ran into certain issues in terms of scaling the show up, and you know, a lot of those learnings and experience, you know, we're able to carry forward because we've got the same people planning it every year.
Right.
And in terms of coordinated worldwide announcement, you know, you've got your PR, your marketing, your development teams, all of these people coordinating, you know, what we want to show, how much we want to reveal. You guys know we don't reveal everything all at once, you know. Got to keep you guys wanting a little bit more.
Right.
Exactly.
We also have to be careful what we announce because obviously we try not to announce things that might change.
Right.
Although that's not always the case, and for us the game design really comes first. So if we do announce something, that doesn't necessarily lock us in.
Right.
We'll still change it if we think it's going to improve the game. Although, you know, we try not to do that because it's not really fun for us to go back and you know, explain all
but the games
reasons
are
why.
always good, and that's why the fans are willing to wait. And I know at the bottom of the hour we're going to have the World of Warcraft preview panel, which is going to give you guys a lot more information on what you can expect from World of Warcraft Cataclysm. Have another Twitter question for you now, though, Mike. This one comes from Solid Python. He says, I understand the band. You're in a band, you know, ETC Level 80, and let's talk a bit about what the new song is going to be. You guys have a new song, apparently. You may premiere tomorrow night?
Well, I guess I'll just tell you, we don't have a new song this year.
Oh, really?
We actually have a new song, but we've decided to hold it.
Gotcha.
Hold it, really?
Because frankly, we don't want to upstage Ozzy.
Oh.
You know, we're a little concerned, you know, that our new song is so good. No, I'm just kidding.
How many performances do you guys do a year?
I'm just kidding. Ozzy, I heard Ozzy's band doing the sound check last night, and they
That's
sound
awesome.
so incredible.
But you guys you'll be the opening act?
We're just honored to be sharing the same stage for a short time.
That's right, because I remember the first BlizzCon you opened for Offspring, and now you guys will be opening for Ozzy Osbourne. Is that sort of a dream for you?
Oh, total dream. Absolutely.
That's awesome. All right, well, Mike, we can't wait to hear more about what Blizzard has coming up in the future. Now, last year, you were nice enough to actually invite us into your office at Blizzard to show people behind the scenes of what it was like to work at Blizzard and be Mike. And let's take a look now at behind the scenes at Blizzard with Mike.
Hello, I'm Mike Morheim, CEO and co-founder of Blizzard Entertainment, and welcome to my office. Right here is a view of the whole company, what the company looked like in 1993, and then down here is what the company looked like when we were working on StarCraft in 1997. This was our very first game, RPM Racing. You probably never heard of it, and that's okay, because really you were better off waiting for the sequel, which was Rock and Roll Racing. Much better game, combat racing. Actually, really fun game. Over here we have a collection of our games throughout the years, of course sorted by franchise, Diablo games, StarCraft games, Warcraft games, all of our battle chests throughout the years. Here's a complete set of World of Warcraft credit cards, so if you want to show the world when you're buying stuff that you love World of Warcraft, you can be like me and carry a World of Warcraft credit card. Of course, you guys all know this is the sword that Arthas uses as the Lich King. So this right here is an orc on wolfback, actually sculpted by Weta, the guys who did all the special effects for Lord of the Rings. Believe it or not, this is actually a miniature of a 12-foot bronze statue that we're having made that's going to go right out in the courtyard, center courtyard of our new campus in Irvine. This is probably the coolest award that I've ever received. This is the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences highest honor, Hall of Fame award that I just received this year. These are our service awards. Actually, if you've been with Blizzard for 5 years, we give you a sword. After 10 years, we give you a shield. And after 15 years, you get a ring. So there's my ring. I don't know, we're going to give it 20 years, but it'll be something cool. To get my $10,000 to start the company, I actually borrowed $15,000 from my grandmother. So she loaned the money to me interest-free. I took $5,000, I put it in the bank and lived off of it for a while. And the rest, you know, we used to fund the company. And then up here is a congratulatory card. Dear Mike, you have almost everything you need to make your new venture a success: brains, talent, and determination. This card supplies the rest. A warm wish for good luck. Love always. We know you'll do well. All the best wishes. Mom and Dad, we're very proud of you. February 1991. So that was a quick tour of my office. I hope you enjoyed it. And I just want to say thank you to all of you watching this over DirecTV. Hope you're enjoying BlizzCon.
All right, that was Mike at his office. We are back, joined again by Mike. So Mike, tell us a bit about what your BlizzCon experience is like for today and tomorrow. You did the opening ceremonies. The pressure is off a little bit now. I know we sometimes see you at night at the hotels, hanging out, talking to the fans. What is BlizzCon like for you?
It's a lot of fun for us. You know, we spend most of our time at our office developing the games. It's not very interactive. You know, running an online game, everybody else is at their house, you know, playing the game. And so you don't really get large groups of people together very often. And certainly we don't have the opportunity to interact with the players. And here we have some of our most passionate players that are just hungry for information about what we're doing. So that's a lot of it. That's really exciting for us. The opening, so now that that's over, I'll head off and I'll talk to various press. We have press in from around the world here at BlizzCon, looking around to see what Blizzard's doing. Really looking forward to the costume contests. Those are always a big highlight. I actually like to bring in my camera and take a whole bunch of pictures myself for my personal photograph collection.
That's right. You put them up on Facebook?
Yeah. And let's see, tomorrow we'll get ready for the closing night concert. You know, that's a big deal for us and the rest of the guys in Level 80. Get that bass out,
get ready, get the fingers warmed up, right?
Well,
are we going to see you do a number together with Ozzy potentially?
I don't think you'll see that, no.
Oh, that would have been wonderful.
I think they'll be just fine without us.
All right.
But it's a big deal for us. I mean, something that I'll never forget.
Yeah.
Now, BlizzCon is so big this year, you know, more people than ever before, another hall. What is your vision for the future of BlizzCon? I mean, what it looks like next year, years beyond? You've done worldwide invitationals before, internationally, BlizzCon here. What do you think?
That's a really good question, you know, because we have this dilemma. We know that there are a lot more people that would like to come to BlizzCon than we can really accommodate, and so we're kind of pushing the limits already of what this venue can offer. So I think that, you know, really as soon as this BlizzCon is over, we'll go back to the office and we'll start talking about, okay, you know, what form do we want BlizzCon to take? Do we keep it in Anaheim? Do we, you know, want to look at other venues elsewhere? And then we'll let people know. But I think we've got some decisions to make.
Exactly.
So just quickly, looking back over all the games that you've done from the very beginning, is there one that's more special than another to you?
You know, I'm really, I have a soft place in my heart for StarCraft.
Yeah.
Love StarCraft. It's one of my favorite Blizzard games. The development process of that, you know, you had the entire team working very hard, you know, for quite a long time. We had an 8-month crunch on StarCraft, but during those 8 months, I really felt like the entire team was sort of in the zone. Working incredibly long hours, but really efficiently and really working together, gelling as a team, and so proud of, you know, what we ended up with, you know, with that game, and people are still playing it 10 years later.
Amazing durability.
Yeah, I pick StarCraft.
I don't know if you know this or not, but while we're here at BlizzCon, IGN is counting down their top 10 Blizzard games of all times, and number 10 we're actually announcing right now, which is Lost Vikings. So Vikings is the number 10. So we'll keep going up from there.
Awesome.
Well, we'll be counting down those over the next couple days.
And you can also go and check those out on IGN.com.
Very cool.
But Chris really mentioned that your staff is fed by this experience. Is this what does it mean to be able to look out over with 26,000 people here? I know that they're all here for something that you created.
You know, it just, I think it really kind of energizes the development teams. It reminds them, you know, why we're doing this and the impact that it has on people. because we just don't get to see it. You know, we don't get to see their faces as they see things for the first time. And here, you know, we make the Cataclysm announcement, and we get to, you know.